Hi, welcome back to Mechanic Garage. There's been a bit of progress during the week. I didn't get any filming done due to the light and stuff, but the engine's now back in this one. It's back up and running. There are a couple of earlier nights back from work, so I thought I'll get on with a couple of little things, but the light faded quickly and all the rest of it, just throw things together. And I've just started doing a bit of a clean-up. Now, I don't know how well it comes out on camera, but that looks completely different. The brown paint, or Penang Grey, as it's officially called, fades quite badly, and obviously the rust protection and wax it's had sprayed on it over the years, it was starting to look a bit grubby and mucky around the edges. It's still, the rest of the car still does, but I just thought I'd put the rear panel on and tried a bit of polish and cutting compound, and it's come up really well. So I'll bring you in and you can have a look at what's the differences are, even though it's quite obvious. Right, the rear panel is in really good condition. The paintwork, I suspect, is original, because when I polished up that one, it was really dull. It came up the same sort of standard. Now, I don't know if you can see, if you go around this side, you can see the difference. So there to there, I've just polished that edge up, and I've not polished that. So that's the original paint as well, I'm suspecting, so I'm hoping that'll come up as well as this has. Also cleaned the lights a little bit, all just done by hand, cutting compound, just to get the dull faded off. See on this example, you can see all the reds especially always go a bit dull, whereas these have cleaned up an awful lot better. You can buy reproduction ones, but they're Chinese, and they don't say made in Czechoslovakia on them, and also not sure how good or bad they are. So open that up, and there it is. Back to where we started. It's just everything behind it that you can't see is now back to standard 120 swing axle race suspension. Wheels back on, new back tyres are on. Just need to bleed the back brakes, connect the handbrake cables up, and then put the belly plates back on, and that's it done. So really this video is just going to be a bit of an update of what's going on, and I may even do a bit of detailing. Cleaning, it's just polishing. Detailing, bit posh word for dressing up a turd. Now that's unfair. Okay, it's brown and looks a bit rough, but the paint's come up quite well. If it comes up like that for the rest of it, I'd be impressed. There is a lot of minor bits of touch up that it's had over the years, and you can see where the difference in the wings on the camera, that looks an awful lot different than it actually is in real life. However, it is, yeah, because this almost looks grey even though it's brown in certain lights, because it had new wings on and they got painted, but I've seen photos of it when it's all cleaned up and polished, and the difference isn't quite as pronounced as that. They are slightly off with the colour, but it's, to be fair, it's not that bad really. So as I showed you in previous videos, if you haven't seen them, go have a look. I rebuilt the interior, put one out of the transferred from this car, because that's getting a slight upgrade and it's a bit of a tip in there at the moment. But yeah, the interior is all back together. Handbrake cables to connect through the hole down there. I ran out of light on the last video. There's a bit of chaos that previous video with cameras packing up. It turned out my phone memory was full and it just kept recording a bit and then stopping. So I've rectified all that now. So basically I'm going to give it a bit of a clean up and just make it a bit nicer looking and less upsetting for people that pass the house, shall we say. I can't comment anymore on that, but never mind. I had a sarcastic comment from a local, shall we say, and doesn't appreciate old Skodas, but never mind. The engine went back in quite sharpish after that, get some wheels on it, and then it looks slightly less scrapyard, shall we say. I think those were his words, but to be fair, I can't blame him. There's quite a lot of things just parked up. The Rover needs to get finished. I keep saying it. unfortunately I bought a new toy. So right, I'm going to get on with a bit of cleaning. I don't know how much of it I'm going to film because it'll be an awfully long, dull video. Maybe a case of showing bits, and then as I go, sort of time lapse it. I don't think I'm going to get all done today. I'm just trying to make it look a bit better and get the back end back together, get the bumper and things on, and see how we go. Right, well, the last clip was ended by rain, and then when I checked it, they didn't even have any sound on it. So I'll chop that around a bit, because otherwise it's just staring at me doing nothing. Saying nothing. So in between the showers, I managed to dry it off a little bit and got the rear bumper back on, cleaned it all up. The lights and everything have come up quite well. They do fade quite bad, as I said earlier, but it's looking a little bit better. And then once it dried out, I decided to get my machine polisher out and just go through a quick cutting compound over the side. Now what I was saying about this side is down where here it was all patchy and everything, so I was going to say I'll paint the whole wheel arches on them all, but what I've done on the other side, I've just cleaned off the wax, the black stuff that was all stuck around it, and most of it's okay. There's a little bit down this area, but I'm going to have to paint that area anyway when I've done welding that hole up. So what I'm probably not going to do is go around and touch up every rusty spot. Clean them all up a little bit, clean the car generally, and just leave it as honest as it is, rather than dress it up to sell and then the rust comes back through. I think I'd rather sell it with little bits of imperfections that people know about, then they know what they're getting. There's nothing worse than buying a car that's just been tarted up and in 3 months' time it's all going rusty again. So I think the plan is just going to be to mop it back and polish it, touch up any really bad bits if need be, or just clean off all the protective stuff that's had daubed on it to keep it and make it survive this long. But basically, it's got a reflection. Several reflections, in fact. The boot lid needs a bit more, well, end bonnet needs a little bit more. There's a few marks in it where it's not quite cut through properly. And this side, it was more of a quick go just to get some of the colour back, so get this area clean and put the bumper back on. But considering the whole thing looked like that before, I think that is considerably better. It's not exactly hard work either, just I didn't get anything to bloody film. So I think I'll put this out as a apology video almost, of like, yeah, nothing really worked well, but it's getting there. It's up and it's running. Needs to bleed the brakes, like I said before. But I've got to do the front brake flexes too, so I might just do it all in one go. But then it's just a case of servicing, cleaning, just check over all the front brakes. The back brakes I'll have a quick look at anyway, so whilst I've still got the puller. I need to give that back to mate now, so I won't be needing it anymore. Once this one's sold, the 130 axle doesn't need the hub puller. But yeah, it's not been the best video because nothing really worked, but it's improved, and if the whole car looks like that back end, then I'll be happy. Yeah, there's bits of paint being touched up, like this paint is the original faded colour, and that's the new paint that was in the normal light. Doesn't look anywhere near as bad as it does on the difference on the camera. There's a slight difference, but it is what it is. So I think that'll do for this one. It's not really been much to see apart from it's back together. It's now cleaned up. I did clean the underside of the bonnet a little bit. I'm not going too mad, but just get rid of the because of the way the water pumps are. You fill this with grease and then gradually turn it down a bit at a time, which forces grease into the bearing, and that then ultimately gets thrown out of the back and thrown in a big line across there, which is where you can see the remains of. And every one you open the bonnet on, they're all the same. I'll prove my point. I don't know how clean this one is, but yeah, you can see the line where it's been cleaned off. But yeah, nothing in that one at the moment. It's getting on a bit. I've not really made a lot of progress, but I've got a bit done. Cosmetically, yeah, it looks better. So right, I'll call that a day. I said this before, didn't I? There's always a tractor going past. Right, it's gone now. So yeah, I'll call it a day, get packed up and things. So but yeah, I'm quite pleased how it's turning out. It's just the video didn't turn out quite as well as the car is, so never mind. We shall try again, and hopefully the microphone's working now. I did test it before I started. Thanks very much. Like and subscribe if you like, and if you want to subscribe. Thanks very much. Cheers.